This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me, Travis with PlayerProps.ai. If you're new here, welcome. You're probably watching this because this is the only YouTube channel on the face of the planet to hit every single pick they gave you on the shows across the entire week. Well, we're glad you're here. Now, if you're curious on what this is or how this works, let me do a quick overview so you know what you're kind of getting yourself into. First off, the all-encompassing rule number one is PlayerProps.ai is not a pick service. It is the #1 rated research and education app in North America, actually globally, technically. You can download this in any city in any country in the world. But it's the #1 at betting education and research app for bettors of all skill levels. What we do on the show, Monday through Friday, is we teach you how to use it every single day. So that's what the show is for. We teach you how to use it so when you are using it, you know, oh, I believe didn't he say to do this and then to do this and look for this? Then you kind of know what you're doing and you're not kind of just lost in the sauce, so to speak. Now, if you are just watching this to see what we find when teaching you how to use the app, you will never win and be a successful bettor long term. You have to, what we call, apply yourself. If you do not apply yourself, you can't expect to win. So when you lose more than you win, when you're zooming out and looking on like how much have I lost this month, how much have I lost this year, if the number's red, it's red for a reason. It's because you're not doing enough. You're not doing anything but simply guessing, tailing random people, whatnot. If you want to start winning, that's why we built this PlayerProps.ai app, for having the people that aren't winning to start winning and to teach them how to do that through many different avenues, one being a daily show on this YouTube channel. For some housekeeping things, there are 12 days left until the $5,000 giveaway winners are announced. If you have not entered, you cannot expect to win. You can't enter what you don't win. So do this today so you don't forget. There are 12 days left. This number here, boom. 12 days left until the winners are announced. Go to playerprops.ai/giveaway to enter. The more points you have, the more money you win. It's that simple. If you want to win money, collect gosh dang points. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a giveaway. You enter the giveaway, you accumulate points. It costs you $0 and 0 cents. And you have a chance of being part of the $5,000 giveaway winners club, which is announced in 12 days. Do that. But yeah, so again, only YouTube channel face the planet to go 100%. And the reason we do that is because we bet smart. We do not bet 20 pick parlays. We don't bet 15 pick parlays. We don't do that stupid stuff that you keep doing, which is why you're losing lots of money. We have, I don't know if there's any quotes or metaphors to give you guys today, so we'll just kind of recap the ones we've been saying for the longest time. And I'm not singling anybody out, even though there's been like one or two people in the last 24 hours that have said this in like Discord and stuff. So I'm not targeting you guys. I'm not singling you guys out. I'm just using what you're saying as an example. They're saying, when I win some more money, I'll upgrade. And the thing that I want to focus on is to teach you why that's the wrong thing to do, is it's the exact same thing as saying you're not going to go to the gym until you get fit. I'm going to get fit first. I'm going to get into shape, and then I'll go to the gym. The gym is what you do and where you go to get into shape. If you are waiting till you get into shape before you go to the gym, you're never going to get into shape. You're never going to go to the gym. That's just how it works. We've been an active company now for 18 months. There have been a good chunk of people who have this thought process, and the amount of people that actually get fit before they go to the gym, it just doesn't happen. To get fit, you go to the gym. If you are betting more than $10 a day, I've made this less than the cost of a cup of coffee to get full access to everything. And then I'm the only, there's so many things that we're doing that nobody else is doing. First off, not just the YouTube show being the only betting YouTube show on literally the planet to go 100% in an entire calendar week last week. But some other things that we're doing that not everybody's doing is you have an indefinite free trial. So when you're logging into your free account you created, if you don't have a premium account anyway, you log in your premium account on the PlayerProps.ai app, that free access never goes away. And there's a reason for that, because we know that people learn at different levels. Some people are quick learners, some people are visual learners, some people are textual learners. It doesn't matter what kind of learner you are. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow you learn things. You will always have free access to this app to learn how to use the app. You will always have free access to the Discord to learn how to use the Discord. If you're not actually using the free access you have to learn things, then you're part of that same problem of the people that think they need to get fit before they go to the gym. Use the free access, learn how to use the app. Use the free Discord to learn how to use the Discord. And then once you're comfortable, okay, I know how to use the app. I've gone to all 10 tools and I've clicked this tap to learn button. Every single tool has this pink and purple button up top. If your first question is, I'm not sure how to use this app, yeah, that's why we added this button. You got to click it. Where are all the other tools? There's 3 here. There's 3 more here. There's 2 more here. And there's 2 more here. There's 10 tools in total. It's very important that you go to all of them and click this button so that you never get thrown off when you look at a tool. And if you do, just click the button. Mondays have been weird for us this entire year, but we've hit a lot of the Mondays recently. Sometimes we do different things to try it out. Sometimes you do the same thing. Let's just see what we can find here today, ladies and gents. Yeah. The interesting thing is the top 2 things on the app are both trifectas, but they're both on the ban list. If you're like, Teacher Travis, how do you know they're both on the ban list? What is the ban list? Well, you remember that part where I talked about the free Discord? One of the channels in the free Discord is called MLB ban list. There's an NFL ban list, there's an MLB ban list, there's an NBA ban list, and a WNBA ban list. There's even an NHL ban list. You need to reference these things, and the way you reference them is you pay attention to them, and you look in the Discord, and you learn how to use the Discord during the free access part, which is indefinite, because you have all the time in the world to learn how to do things. You have to put forth effort. You have to apply yourself. We have a rule. It says we never go over strikeout props when people are versing Kansas City. We have a rule that says we never go over strikeout props when people are versing San Diego. So get away from those. I believe Joey in Discord was talking about Crotchet Rocket here, who, focusing on the last 3, Houston's been striking out a lot. They're 8th most. He's got a 7.5 line, but what I want to check real quick is I think somebody dropped a screenshot in Discord earlier this morning or late last night where they found him at 6.5. I'm going to see if anybody still has him at 6.5. What team is he on now? No. So whoever got him at 6.5, congratulations. He was a trifecta, and he probably will hit that. But and he still could hit 7.5. But I was hoping to have at least one book, but it looks like all the books are in 7.5. So yeah, he's not a trifecta anywhere right now. So let's go back to the tools. But yeah, whoever got him in early, congrats. Okay, so we have another trifecta here, Will Warren. Will Warren has been... So if you go to the MLB ban list, there's one specific pitcher who is on that list. And his name's not Will Warren. But, so we have rules in the ban list. We don't go over strikeouts against pitchers versus Kansas City. That's not specific to Cade. That's just specific to his opponent. But the only thing that's specific to the pitcher is Sonny Gray. When we do not bet him, he hits his line. When we do bet him, he doesn't hit his line. And it's happened so much this season that I go, you know what? He's untrustworthy. He's too flip-floppy. He's too hot and cold. We don't touch him. We didn't touch him yesterday and he hit his line. That's just how it works. And if we did bet him yesterday, he wouldn't have hit his line. So he's on the ban list because he's not consistent enough. So Will Warren, if you've paid attention to whatever his last start with, so like 5 days ago, he was on our poop watch list, or our ban watch list, where we actually had him as the show play, and we said if he doesn't hit, he's going on the ban list, because he is someone who is on the hot and cold spectrum. He had 4.5 when we played him, and he got his 5th strikeout on his very last pitch of the game. So he covered, but like barely. He's versing Minnesota. He has a trifecta. Minnesota is the 17th most, so they're right there in the middle, and they're even further away from the middle, closer to the not great side in the last 3, 19th overall. It means they're 11th least in strikeouts over the last 3. Because I know he's already kind of like hot and cold, and he was on the poop list, or the watch list anyway, last time we played him, I'm pretty positive last time we played him, he was versing a team that was much better than 17 and 19 for these rankings. So I don't know. I want to say that I'm not in love with the opponent. Everything else looks good. Projection looks good, but not in love with the opponent. Right? Oop, I didn't mean to click on him. But yeah, I think we played him here, and he missed, and then we played him here, and he barely hit at 98 pitches. But I'm not in love with the Twins' strikeout rates. So banned. Not in love with. Line went from 6.5 to 7.5. Can we even see that line jump? Yeah. So the people that got in early here, and there's a lot of people in Discord. So the beauty. Here's something else I want to stress. The purpose of the show, if you have not upgraded to premium, is to use the show to help you learn how to use the app, right? We already said at the beginning. The purpose of watching the show after you've upgraded is to open the app the night before the morning of, prior to the show dropping on YouTube, and this is what everybody in the Discord does, in the premium channels. They're all like, let's figure out together, if they want to research together, which normally they do. There's 17,000 people in there. Let's try to figure out what Teacher Travis is going to find for today's show before the video drops. Because what that does is it enhances your understanding, and it confirms that you're using the app correctly. So everybody was in Discord late last night, early this morning. It's like, hey, is it Will Warren? Is it Garrett Crotchet Rocket? And then if, like, during the conversation in Discord, like right here, like around 12:20 a.m. Eastern time, it could have been this guy because he was a trifecta, and we know that he's an ace, and he's got crazy strikeout stuff. But by 2:55 a.m., his line jumped to 7.5 on all books. And so, yeah, that's what you want to do once you upgrade. So for the people out there who are already premium, that's what you want to do with the show. You want to find what you believe is the play was going to be before this video drops. So, banned, not in love with, no longer trifecta. And that looks like there's only 3 overs. So let's check the unders now. There are no unders, so let's flip the script and let's go to FanDuel and see if there's any on there. No. Hold on, let me go to under first. Okay, no under trifectas today. And no under trifectas. And the only over trifecta currently that is not banned is Will Warren, who's in a matchup I'm not in love with. I'm trying to think of some other things. I'm just not in love with this. Also, this has to be one of the worst accuracies out of starting pitchers where the AI's projected at least 24. Because again, he's very hot and cold. That's why he's almost on the ban list. And I mean, this is just a 1-game thing. So sure, it's 0, but it's just 1 game. So there's not enough sample sauce here, even if he wasn't versing Kansas City. Sample sauce, sample size, the same thing. You know what I meant. But yeah, like, I feel like if we sorted by accuracy, yeah, he's the lowest pitcher today. So I sorted by accuracy, and then I hit under, so it sorts by the lowest. So this is just a 1-game sample size. That's what this number means, 1 here. So out of anybody that's 20 starts or more, nobody has a lower accuracy than Will Warren. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean that our AI sucks. It means the reason we added this is to show you this player is unpredictable. So the matchup and the fact that he has the lowest accuracy out of all pitchers today, nah, I'm not going to force that. Can he hit? Sure. But not in love with it. Okay, so I really wish that I recorded this before Crotchet Rocket had all books go from 6.5 to 7.5. I would have loved getting him at 6.5. Man, that would have been nice. Okay, so what do we do now? Are there any trifectas on the no run first inning predictor? There are no trifectas for that. Remember, Monday anyway, like I said at the very beginning of this show, has been very weird for us. So typically we like to do things differently on Monday to kind of screw with the betting gods who screw with us on Mondays. So maybe is today a WNBA day? WNBA typically doesn't have games on Mondays. Mondays is like an off day for their season, but it looks like they do have Connecticut versus Golden State, and there are no trifectas in the over/under. Something else I want to note with WNBA. So the reason we don't do a ton of shows with WNBA is because compared to like pitching strikeouts and then pitching not pitching, but MLB like hits, runs, RBIs. It's not that we don't like WNBA. I love WNBA. I started rooting for the New York Liberty before the last season, so I'm actually undefeated on every season I have New York Liberty as my team. They've won the finals. And so I just want to make sure I note that. Also, if you remember that green shirt, the New York Liberty shirt I was wearing, every single day on the show that they have a game and I wear that shirt, they haven't lost. So there's something to that as well. And they're also undefeated when they're fully healthy this season. They haven't lost a single game when all the starting five is fully healthy. So that's also something to note. But the reason I bring this up is that it's not that we don't do WNBA because we don't like WNBA. It's that why would I focus on something that my data is showing is has less of a hit rate than my data for MLB. So for what I mean by that is when we look at all of the shows I've done with MLB over the last 18 months since we launched this, the hit rate for my MLB shows is much higher than my WNBA shows. That doesn't mean we don't hit WNBA, but if I hit like 75, 80% of my lifetime MLB shows, and I'm only hitting like 60% of my WNBA shows, then why would I put more time into a thing that hits less? I want to show you that you focus on what hits more. So even for MLB, I'll have people like hit me up in Discord that are newer members, and they're like, oh, like how do you use the total? What's your recommendation on using the MLB total predictor that predicts total runs scored in a game from both teams combined? And I say, well, this is how you use it. This is how you best use the total predictor. But it's also important to note that the total predictor is not hitting and printing as much money. Not that it's not hitting. It's not hitting as much or printing nowhere near as much money as the spread predictor, the HRR, the hits, runs, RBI predictor, and the no run first inning predictor. So that's another note as well, whether you're free or premium, is focus on what is printing the most money. If WNBA props are not printing as much money as MLB spreads, and you have the option to do both of them in whatever state you're in, you can still do WNBA points props, PRA props, whatever you want to do. You could still get exposure to it, but just put most of the bankroll in what we're showing you are hitting the most. So that's the only reason we don't have like a crap ton more WNBA shows, is because my MLB shows are hitting so much. Another thing to note that I want to mention there, Joey, our cheat sheet extraordinaire in the Discord community, he's actually working on something for WNBA where he went back. He loves data. He's a data nerd, data junkie. And so what we're doing is he's going back and he's trying to find the same trifecta hit rate stuff that we have for the hits, runs, RBI for MLB props. And there's a lot of interesting things there. But once he'll drop that in Discord and the premium WNBA channels and stuff like that. But it'll be like, if let's say Bria Hartley is a trifecta today. She's not, but let's say she is. And then he has a cheat sheet of every time she's been a trifecta for points, how often has she hit. So we're going to have something like that coming out. But the thing to note is For NBA specifically, or just basketball, NBA and WNBA, and even college basketball is a little bit different. But for the professional basketball leagues, it's a lot less often you find a trifecta. So there's not as many trifectas. This is also interesting as well, is that I wanted to say, I saw this 80% here. So yeah, 80% of the last 10 games, she's hit this line. But again, it's not a trifecta, and we actually have a rule where we don't like points lines that are under 15 anyway. So we don't need to stay on WNBA. There are no trifectas today. I know for a fact, because Mondays are weird, that if we lock Will Warren in, he's not going to hit. He does have a higher hit rate on FanDuel, though, compared to DraftKings. And how does a pitcher have a different hit rate on different books? Because the hit rate for the AI accuracy is based on the line of the books. So if he's got a higher hit rate for FanDuel, that means sometimes out of those 24 games, he's had a 3.5 line on FanDuel and a 4.5 line on DraftKings and finished with 4 strikeouts. So that's why he's hitting more on FanDuel. So that's what that means. But there are no other things jumping out at us that are even barely trifectas. So here we have, I'm just looking at stuff right now, trying to see if there's anything. I'm trying to avoid locking in Will Warren. That's what we're trying to do. So Jose Quintana, it's probably like Quintana or Quintana, I don't know. So the bad thing about Jose is that they let him go into 100 pitches, right? Like, he's got a lot of 100 plus things. In his last 10 games, though, he's only gotten 5 strikeouts 3 times, and 2 of those games were against high strikeout teams, Colorado and Dodgers, and he barely covered that line. His last game, though, is just only, like, let's go. His last start against the Braves was his highest strikeout, I think, of the season. So his last game was his highest thing. So hopefully he goes into this game with like a cocky confidence and it blows up in his face. But the thing is that Pittsburgh, who he's versing today, out of all teams in baseball this season, have the 7th most strikeouts, but they're striking out a lot less recently. This definitely isn't a strikeout trifecta, because this would have to be a 3.5 projection. But what's interesting here, so even though they're letting it to 100 pitches, which we don't like to see, in the few times he's covered, 2 of those 3 times, he barely covered against teams that are super high strikeouts. So let me see here. This stat here, we like to see 20% and higher when we're going over, because we're looking at Jose under. Against lefties, he's striking out 21%, but against righties, 13. Jose is a left-handed pitcher. So people are probably going to want to bat righty because his strikeout rate's so low against righties. So that means they only really have 2 left-handed hitters, because this Brian Reynolds switch is probably going to hit right? I think so. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So maybe today, we'll do a 2 out of 3 again. So what that means is, if there's not one prop that I'm in love with, we typically find 3, and you're not betting. So if we do one pick for today, and let's say based on bankroll management, that bet is like a $50 bet. When we do 3, that does not mean doing 3 $50 bets. You're taking your $50 you would normally have bet on one, and you're spreading out across all 3. So you're not betting any more. And what the goal is that at least 2 out of 3 hits, we have profit. So we're not taking all 3 and just putting in a 3-pick parlay and calling it a day. Because if 1 misses and 2 hit, you're the only person that doesn't make profit, and you're going to feel silly. So even though we had a monster game last game, the 17th and last 3 is interesting. This is also interesting. So he is 0.3 away projection for being a trifecta. So if he was a 5.5, he would be a trifecta. The interesting thing to note as well is he's actually versing a team who's very consistent and not striking out. 23rd most strikeouts, which is 7 away from the bottom, and over the season, and also 23rd in last 3. I also like the fact that his line is higher than normal, 6.5, because that means he can still have a nice game of 6 strikeouts and still miss his line and still hit for us, like last game. So you got 7 here, you got 8 here. They do allow him to creep into the hundreds, which I'm not a huge fan of. And he also has a 20 strikeout rate against both sides, which I'm also not a huge fan of. But he is a right-handed pitcher. And there's 2 switchies and 3 lefties. I hate Mondays, man. Okay. So there's nothing I'm in love with. I want to state that first and foremost. There's absolutely nothing that I'm in love with. You hear that? What does that mean? When I say that, it means do not bet nowhere near as much as you would bet if I was in love with something. So there's nothing I'm in love with. But I think today's going to be a 2-3 day. So we're putting 3 in, and if 2 hit, we profit. Again, if you do not listen to what I'm telling you to do right now, and only one of these misses, and you don't make any money, and you only lose money, that means you did not listen to the words coming out of my mouth. We're going for a 2-3 day. But what we're doing here is we're making sure we have the best line and best odds possible. So first, so it's interesting he's at 5.5 on Hard Rock at BetMGM. So first, 6.5 Nathan. Next, I was hoping to see if he was a 6.5 any book during this recording, but that's not the case. Who else? And then we got 4.5 Jose. The best payout is Hard Rock, which is why this is highlighted for that part there. 4.5 Jose, 6.5 Nathan, and the last one was I guess we're gonna do it, and the best payout is on FanDuel to 156. So 4.5 Will, 6.5 Nathan, and 4.5 Jose. 2 out of 3, and we profit. If 2 hit and 1 lose, and you do not profit, you have ignored me, and ignoring me is how you keep losing money. The people that listen are the people that are in Discord. There's 17,000 people in Discord that joined Discord because that was step number 1. Well, it's actually step number 1 was downloading the free app and creating a free account. Have you done that part yet? Step number 2 is getting into the free Discord. And then step number 3, I would say, is probably applying yourself and learning how to use everything. So, ladies and gents, I think that's, it took us a while to get there. But we have to do weird things on Mondays because Mondays are weird. Again, there is only 12 days left before the $5,000 cash and prizes giveaways winners are announced. Pay attention to this. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. 12 days left. If you have not thrown your hat in the ring, if you have not signed up and entered the 100% free to enter $5,000 cash and prizes giveaway, you can't win what you do not enter. PlayerProps.ai/giveaway. Open up Google Chrome. Open up Safari. Open up Firefox. Open up whatever. Bing. I don't even care. Whatever browser you like. Type. PlayerProps.ai/giveaway. Enter. I want to enter this, and then whoever has the most points wins. So you just have to go in there, and you have to see how you get the handful of things that will give you tickets, entries, points, and stuff. They're all free. And then, try to accumulate as many points as possible in the next 12 days. Imagine being notified. We've been doing this for like a month. I've been telling you to join this giveaway for a month. Can you imagine how silly you're going to look when you've watched a month worth of episodes about joining a free $5,000 giveaway, and then you watch everyone else win because you've never entered it? You're going to feel pretty silly. Lock it in, kids. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.